So guys, I was told after watching this movie that I would be able to see something really incredible. The backside of water. But I've been trying to figure it out for the longest time, and like, I don't see the backside of water. Like, where is it? What's going on, guys? My name is Zack, and I love talking cinema and all things entertainment. Welcome to yet another brand new movie review, guys. And as always, I really appreciate you guys stopping by, and I hope you enjoy your stay. Because this time around, I am so pumped to be finally talking about the Jungle Cruise movie. This one is directed by Jaume Collet-Serra, based off of the famous Disney theme park ride, and it stars Emily Blunt as essentially your female Indiana Jones, if you will, as well as my main man, The Rock, as Frank, who for the next 2 hours and 8 minutes will be your skipper, your tour guide, your fashion consultant, your alligator wrestler, and you know that if you don't laugh at his jokes, he'll also be your swimming instructor. Yeah, can I say that this is one of my favorite rides at Disneyland yet? Dr. Lily Houghton, played by Blunt, enlists the aid of wisecracking skipper Frank, played by The Rock, to take her down the Amazon in his piece of turd he calls a boat. And together they search for an ancient tree that holds the power to heal. A discovery that will change the future of medicine. So guys, as I've alluded to already, the Jungle Cruise has provided me with some of my favorite memories from the happiest place on earth. It's admittedly not the most exciting ride in the world. You don't get the bursts of adrenaline you'd get from riding something like a Temple of the Forbidden Eye or Space Mountain. But what I love about it is just how unafraid these skippers are to have a good time. If you've never been on the Jungle Cruise, trust me, these skippers will continuously break the fourth wall, and, you know, they would honestly say things that you wouldn't hear around the rest of the park. Let me just say that for the record. They are hysterical. And I'll get to this movie Skipper, don't you worry about that. But let me just rewind back to the year 2003 for you guys. That was the year Pirates of the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl hit theaters. Super fun movie, right? But especially back then, there were people who just thought that making a movie based off of a theme park ride was just plain silly. And my god, were those people proven wrong, because Curse of the Black Pearl is still considered today by many, including myself, to be an instant classic. But when I was a kid, see, I was young and stupid back in 2003. I was always like, where's the Jungle Cruise? I didn't know any better. And I love the first Pirates film. I do. I really do. But I have been wanting a Jungle Cruise movie for years. And I don't know if I can go as far as saying the Jungle Cruise reaches the instant classic level like a Pirates 1 did, or I don't even know if it reaches the level of an Indiana Jones movie, which I am seeing all those comparisons, and they're well warranted. But color me surprised, everyone. I was so happy leaving this theater. Jungle Cruise is not only one of the most fun adventures you'll go on in 2021, but it also may be, in general, one of the most fun experiences you'll ever have going to a theater altogether. At least that's how it was for me, and I couldn't help but smile from ear to ear watching this film. I'm dead serious, guys. This movie ruled. This is honestly the summer adventure we've been waiting for from Disney, and they deliver. And a big part of that has to do with the chemistry of this stellar cast, especially from our two leads, Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson, both of whom are incredible performers, already holding some Disney pedigree under their belt with Mary Poppins Returns and Moana, respectively. Emily Blunt plays one of the most fearless new Disney characters I can remember ever seeing on the big screen. Blunt was phenomenal in this film as Dr. Lily. She is in many ways the female equivalent to Indiana Jones here. This is an extremely intelligent character who's certainly got the sarcasm and the wit. And let me just say that if she was ever attacked in this film, she could certainly hold her own. And I appreciated how the script treated her as a strong, independent character who didn't always need help necessarily. She didn't need The Rock to come and save her every which direction. And I loved that. Emily Blunt was fantastic. Now, speaking of, guys, I'm just gonna say, I'm a huge fan of The Rock. I've been growing up with him ever since he was the World Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion. And I've certainly sat through all of his crummy movies, especially in his early acting days like Scorpion King, The Game Plan. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I think The Rock has been waiting his entire life to be a Jungle Cruise skipper. This must have been a dream come true for this man, who some would argue has done it all up to this point. And it would feel kind of redundant to tell you how charming Dwayne Johnson is in Jungle Cruise, because Well, let's face it, it's Dwayne Johnson. That's a given. That's who he is. He's a charismatic charmer. Just an all-around good dude. And my God, the dad jokes. Let me just say that the whole introductory sequence of his character... comedic gold. And thank God those are not all of his dad jokes throughout this film. If I were you, I would expect lots of groans and or pity laughs to come from your theater. I honestly don't know what else people would be expecting out of a movie based off of dad jokes the ride. And I loved every single one. Rocky had me in stitches the whole way through. As I've alluded to, the chemistry of our two leads is really magical, for lack of a better term. These two work wonders off of each other, not only in these swashbuckling action set pieces that feel right out of The Last Crusade, but there's quite a bit of emotion thrown in there too, which I really wasn't expecting. The Rock's character in particular has quite the unique and interesting backstory that I dare not spoil for you here. And some people might feel that that whole reveal was a bit exposition dumpy, but that didn't really bother me. It honestly came with the territory. It never really felt forced. Not to be overlooked though is the stellar supporting cast as well. Jack Whitehall in particular plays Dr. Lily's younger brother, McGregor. He was honestly someone I was very concerned about going in, potentially being that annoying sidekick who bogs the movie down. But I gotta say, there were so many redeeming and endearing qualities to his character, which was such a pleasant surprise. He reminded me a lot actually of Dan Fogler in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Definitely more so of an audience character who's got all the questions as to why Skipper Frank is doing the things he's doing. But he also has quite a beautiful sibling connection with Emily Blunt herself. I loved his character. I'd love to see more of him. Paul Giamatti is also in this in small bursts as The Rock's boss, essentially. He was a really fun character, almost essentially like a mafia boss on the river. And Jesse Plemons, man. Oh boy. Now listen, I love Jesse Plemons in pretty much every role he touches. Breaking Bad, he is considerably evil there. I also loved him in I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which is kind of a hidden gem on Netflix that came out last year. But this definitely feels like a more cartoony type of villain than he's used to. This is a very, very deranged Disney villain. He honestly reminded me a lot of Clayton from Tarzan, you know, except with submarines and torpedoes instead of machine guns. But Plemons is a more than capable actor to make this character as grounded as he was. Because in different hands, this character could have went way over the top, and it really could have distracted from the rest of the film immensely. Thankfully, Plemons doesn't do that. He was great in this movie, very funny in spurts as well. There's one sequence he has with a series of bees. I loved it. It was so funny. Jaume Collet-Serra's direction, utterly fantastic. The movie looks absolutely stunning on the silver screen. All this cinematography and the camera work down the river is so gorgeously put together. The action sequences are all super exciting. They all leave you wanting more from the edge of your seat. But every single action sequence, guys, and the whole film for that matter, I don't think would have been nearly as exciting without a magnificent score by James Newton Howard. This might honestly be one of my favorite new scores of 2021. It is utterly pulsating. It's not exactly like the Indiana Jones anthem we all grew up with, but you certainly get similar vibes from this music. Yet it still retains its own swashbuckling type of identity. And in general, this film manages to retain its own identity as this brand new Disney adventure. I absolutely adored Jungle Cruise. I can't wait to go and watch it again. Now, as far as issues go, I'm noticing a lot of people here on YouTube are saying that the ending was a little bit too convenient, and that's certainly a fair argument and a fair criticism for sure. But with Disney's name on the title, I honestly don't know what else we were expecting with this ending. So yes, it was a little bit too convenient, but it didn't explicitly bother me. But my issues with Jungle Cruise actually start firstly with some of this CGI. For the budget going into this film, not all of it looked overly convincing. There were some characters like these ancient conquistadores who were, I mean, this is a cool concept in and of itself, but the effects on them just kind of looked a little bit too hokey, almost like Javier Bardem in Dead Men Tell No Tales. And there were points where I could definitely tell that these effects were a little bit fake. This isn't to say all the CGI is terrible. I love the character of Proxima, Frank's pet leopard. Such an adorable character in her own right. Like, I want a pet leopard now. I can't believe I'm saying that, but Jungle Cruise made me want a pet leopard. I will admit though, guys, my biggest issue with Jungle Cruise really is a nitpick at this point, because I obviously loved it. I think it's a little bit too long. As I said, this movie clocked in at 2 hours and 8 minutes. I hate to admit, but there were a couple of slower points in the movie where I did find myself checking my watch. I think if they trimmed down a couple of these sequences, it really would have helped the movie's pacing quite considerably. Besides that, I cannot praise this Jungle Cruise movie enough. I had a big idiotic grin on my face throughout this entire runtime. The two leads work magic together, the film looks utterly gorgeous, and it's just a fun swashbuckling adventure. This is the type of movie I've been missing from Disney for quite some time, and I can't wait to experience it again and again. I'm gonna give Jungle Cruise an A-. As a matter of fact, this is Disney's most fun original adventure film since Curse of the Black Pearl, and I think they could be onto something with a new franchise here. Just saying, Disney, I'd be down for some new adventures on different rivers, even if it's on the longest river in the world, which goes on for Niles and Niles and Niles. You don't believe me about that, you're just in disbelief. I would strongly recommend checking out Jungle Cruise on the biggest screen possible this weekend. But if you don't feel safe going to the theater, it's always an option to buy it on Disney Plus Premier Access. However you choose to view this movie, I cannot recommend it enough. And let me know what you thought of Jungle Cruise down in the comments section below. Do you agree with me? Did you love this film as much as I did? Did you not enjoy it? And also, feel free to let me know down in the comments which theme park ride you think deserves the Disney live action treatment. I wouldn't be opposed to a Space Mountain movie. Like, how neat would that be? But guys, if topics in cinema and all things entertainment sound appealing to you, this is definitely the channel for you. So do consider hitting that subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can. That way you guys can keep up to date with all of my future videos going forward. And it's also free, so you know, what have you got to lose? And feel free to hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video on your way out. It really helps get this content out there. And as always, guys, look out for more exciting content hitting this channel very soon. Busy couple of next weekends here. We got the Green Knight, we got the Suicide Squad, which I'm seeing rave universal acclaim for. I can't wait to talk about those movies and much more with y'all. You guys are the best. And with all that being said, back talk, commence!